Good evening. I'm Jennifer Kim. As Min권center's Vice President, it's my honor to introduce our first Standing Up for Justice awardee, Coalition for Asian American Children and Families. CACF is the nation's only Pan-Asian advocacy organization for children and families. They go to bat for Asian Pacific Americans and APA organizations to create better laws, mindsets, and access to funding for services. For example, CACF leads the 15% and Growing Coalition, which advocates for APA communities to receive our fair share of city and state funding. Its Invisible No More campaign fights for data disaggregation at the city and state level because APA communities are not monolithic. Its APA Asian Equity campaign drives a progressive vision for equity, inclusion, and integration in New York City public schools. And so, for fighting to ensure that all children and their families, including Asian Pacific Americans, have an equal opportunity to health and safety, we are thrilled to present this Standing Up for Justice Award to CACF.
Hi, I'm Vanessa Liang, Co-Executive Director of the Coalition for Asian American Children and Families, CACF.
And I'm Anita Gandana, Co-Executive Director of CACF.
We are so honored to accept this award from the Min권center, the Standing Up for Justice Award.
And we're so thankful for the years of partnership with Minkwon and CACF, and especially thankful to the dedication that Minkwon has had to fight for those who are most marginalized in our community and advocate and organize around the issues that are most critical to meet the needs of those who struggle the most.
And especially as they work with their young people, they've seen how our Queen schools are some of the most overcrowded and sometimes the most under-resourced, where our Asian American students go to and attend school. And I think it's been important for us to kind of have those stories and uplift the impacts of, poverty, the challenges of having the lack of support in their schools, and also kind of the continued invisibility of the needs of Asian American students in our public school system. In addition, we've seen the growth of Minkwon's direct services work and are so proud to be able to partner with them as they've expanded their patient navigator program to assist families around identifying affordable health care.
Yeah, and Minkwon's partnership has also been vital when we're fighting for health justice and a fairer and more equitable healthcare system. And another thing that has been so critical at this moment has been Minkwon's work around civic engagement and their work coordinating APA Voice. It's been especially important during this time of transition and as we hope for a better future for all of our communities.
So really thank you again to Minkwon for this award and the continued partnership to ensure that the most vulnerable in our city, in our Asian Pacific American community, their needs are met, and we continue to transform our communities together.
And we look forward to continuing our partnership with Minkwon to stand up for justice.
Our next Standing Up for Justice awardee is no stranger to the Min권center. Steve Choi has been a member of our Minkwon family for almost 25 years now. If you could believe it, Steve started out as an intern with us and eventually becoming our executive director. After Minkwon, and for the past 7 extraordinary years, Steve has been at the helm of the New York Immigration Coalition during a time when NYC has led the way to major victories like winning access to driver's licenses, challenging the Trump administration's cruel decision to end DACA, and passing the DREAM Act. And during this terrible pandemic, Steve has spearheaded the fundraising of more than $2.5 million to distribute to immigrant New Yorkers. Steve has transitioned to a new role as NYIC's senior advisor, where he'll be focusing on strengthening the voices and political power of immigrants in New York and across the country. And so, for a life spent fighting to transform the lives of immigrants in New York, it is our honor to present Steve Choi with this 2020 Standing Up for Justice Award.
Good evening. Thank you to the Minkwon Center for Community Action, and congratulations on 36 years of amazing activism. It's been 20 years since I first became part of the Minkwon movement when I was an intern. And back then we had a house on Parsons Boulevard, and we had no money, we had no paid staff, and we had an air conditioner and a rice cooker that couldn't be plugged in at the same time. So during the summertime, we had a choice that if you wanted hot rice, then you got hot air too. But one thing that we did have was the power of the people, the power of the amazing volunteers, the board, the incredible committed folks who powered the Minkwon Center, who knew that we could make incredible change happen with our devotion and our commitment. And it's a lesson that I've never forgotten. And it's still true 20 years later, in November 2020, as we sit here trying to pick up the pieces of the wreckage of our immigration system and our country after 4 years of Donald Trump. Donald Trump's presidency has been a reign of terror for immigrant communities. The Muslim ban that has separated families, kept them apart for years. The cancellation of DACA and TPS, taking people, 1 million American immigrants who have been working lawfully and building lives for themselves, all of a sudden thrown into limbo. And the raids and the deportations that have torn families apart. This is the human toll of Donald Trump's presidency. And there have been times during these past 4 years that in the face of all this, I have felt powerless and hopeless. Because Donald Trump as president was incredibly powerful. He had the power of the presidency. He controlled the Senate. He had the power of the courts. He had the power of the entire federal government behind him. Hundreds of thousands of ICE agents and federal police and immigration court judges. That's the kind of power that he had. And in the face of all that power, there are times, moments where I felt despair. But in the midst of that despair, I realized something. And that is that we have some power too. That we have the power of the people, as I learned 2 decades ago. We have the power of immigrants, and we have the power of allies. And together with that power, we have exercised it and used it to fight back for the people. During the past 4 years, we have marched in the streets. We have won incredible victories like driver's licenses for all New Yorkers. And we have voted like our lives depended on it. And just a couple weeks ago, we voted out Donald Trump by using this power of the people. I look forward to working for the next 20 years hand in hand, remembering that critical lesson that we can use the power of the people. You've come this far with us, and I ask that you take one more step. Now, under a new president, we have an opportunity to fight together for a new vision of America, for a new vision of America that includes all immigrants, for a fair and just immigration system that's going to keep families together and give everybody a path to citizenship and opportunity. I've worked with the Minkwon Center for the past 20 years, and I look forward to working hand in hand with the Minkwon Center for Community Action for the next 20 years to win this vision and more using the power that we've all built together. Thank you.